Good day, everybody. Wow, there's lots of hugs going on here. Lots of love. Get comfortable. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to do a lot of really nice things. We're going to hear from really a lot of nice people that are going to express themselves with a lot of love. This is a celebration of life for Nancy Natale Diaz. So if you're in the wrong place, you can leave now. We're going to start this with the Serenity Prayer, if you'd like to join me. God, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'd really like to thank everybody here. I may be able to give you all a hug, I may not, but regardless of whether I give you a hug or not, I love you all for making the effort to be here, and I'm sure you want to be here, so that speaks a lot about you and your relationship to Nancy on whatever level it was. Some of it was lifelong, maybe some of it wasn't so lifelong, but whatever it was, it brought you here. And I can tell you for a fact, you're in the right place. What we're going to do is, there is a video that we're going to show at the end after some people come up here and speak. But for now, we're going to show 5 minutes of that clip. So if you'd want, watch the monitors, it's 5 minutes. So whoever rolls the monitor.
I got to look at myself, are you kidding me?
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever.
My mother is 92, and I'm there for her all the time. She is a priority in my life. Since 10 years ago, I would call her every day.
I want to introduce my daughter and best friend, Nancy.
Everybody else someday, but everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, it's my life now. For once you stood their ground. Tommy and Gina never back down. Tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistake. Love ain't even look, you gotta make your own breaks. It's my life now.
our literature talks about having a profound personality change. And because I had gotten my life, I was able to take little baby steps. So I felt like sometimes I felt like my skin was wide open and I was totally vulnerable. And it was very scary for me, very scary to step out of that image and let you really see who I am, you know, and I started to have like a lot of compassion and empathy with human beings. And I started to really care and love people, like a lot of people. You know, I didn't want to be intimidating anymore. I didn't want to be scary to people anymore. You know, don't think that I'm kindness is not a weakness, you know? But I have become a loving, caring person, you know? So thank you. I have a lot of people in my life that I truly love, and it just amazes me.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and say, we are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and say, everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we fly just like birds of a feather. I want to know life.
Hi everybody, I'm Nancy, I'm an addict. I gotta look at myself, are you kidding me?
Wait till you see the other 20 minutes. Okay, so that's just a taste. So when we have 9 speakers, and they're going to speak for 5 minutes. Hopefully they're going to share their memories. After that, we're going to play the rest of that video. It gets much better and better and better. And then there's a reception at the building. I forgot where it is, but there's another building. There's a reception. There's going to be lots of food. We have that building for a couple of hours at least, I believe. Is that correct? We have that, and we can party down over there and socialize and have a good time. Okay? So the first speaker we have is Mr. Diaz.
Wow, a lot of people. Thank you, everybody, for coming. You know I'm gonna cry. Nancy had 40 years clean, by the way, and her tag was free to be me. She taught me how to be free, and here we go. Oh, need glasses. Today we gathered not to mourn the loss of an extraordinary woman, but to celebrate a life lived with purpose and compassion and unwilling love. I met Nancy in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. I came in late and she was speaking from a podium. Her eyes locked onto mine and mine onto hers. She was sharing about recovery and joking she wanted to meet a Latin man. Okay. I remember thinking, well, I'm Latin and she's beautiful. But what first really attracted me was just her beauty. It was her wisdom, her strength, and the way she carried the message of recovery. I began seeing her in meetings, and afterwards we'd go to dinner with friends. We went to my first convention together, and later my first Native American convention. We walked into an entire drive. We talked all the way there. We started dating and went dancing and simply enjoyed life together. People asked me, "What did you do to that woman? She'd never seen her smile." At first, I didn't understand what they meant. One day, I noticed that face she gives you, and then I understood. Yeah. Seeing her happy was my blessing in my life. But I'll be honest, Nancy gave me far more than I could ever give her. She made people believe in themselves. She made me believe in myself. Because of her encouragement, I went back to school and graduated. Nancy just didn't celebrate my accomplishment. She made me an unforgettable. She bought me a cap and gown. She kept my diploma. I never thought it arrived in the mail, but she held on to it to surprise me. She curated a graduation ceremony. Someone was playing the piano. His name was Charles, by the way. And he was my teacher in junior high. Hey, don't tell me how these things happen, but they just happen. My teacher at school handed me my diploma. My friends were there to celebrate. Only Nancy would think of something so thoughtful. She had a way of making people feel seen, valued, and loved. Shit. That's one of her favorite words, by the way. Nancy also was an incredible daughter. Her mother wasn't just her mother, they were best friends, sisters in spirit, companions through life. The love they shared was beautiful to witness. In recovery, Nancy had an extraordinary gift. She believed in newcomers with open arms. She continued them to sponsor and sponsees and made sure no one had to walk alone. She dedicated her life to helping others find hope when they lost their own. Recovery wasn't just something Nancy believed in, it was the way she lived. Narcotics Anonymous was simply a place she attended. It was her community, it was her calling, her strength, and her family. She gave herself away freely, one person at a time. She never thought recognition. She only hoped that someone else would find one more day clean. Nancy became a legend in my eyes in recovery. Not because she wanted to be one, but because of the countless lives she touched. Everywhere I traveled, I heard her name. I could walk into a meeting and across the country or across the world, and someone would be saying, "Do you know Biker Nancy?" Then they would smile as they shared a story of how she had changed their life. That is a legend in my eyes. Every few people leave behind, a legacy people leave behind. Nancy believed in people long before she believed in themselves. She offered hope where others saw despair. She reminded people that no matter how far they've fallen, they would never beyond redemption. Her heart was just as big as the rooms of recovery. Her children were her dogs, and everyone who knew Nancy knew how deeply she loved them. They weren't just pets, they were family. They brought her comfort, joy, laughter, and unconditional love. The same unconditional love she freely gave to everyone throughout her life. Nancy showed up. She showed us that love isn't measured in what we say, it's measured in what we do. She lived her life in service. She listened without judgment. She loved without condition. She believed when others couldn't. She lifted people up when they had forgotten to stand up. The world is a better place because of Nancy was in it. Should have seen me writing this. I couldn't stop crying. Through our hearts and our broken heart today, we are not left empty. We have her examples. We have her kindness. We have her countless lives she changed, and the hope she restored, and the love she gave us freely, free to be me. If we want to honor Nancy, we don't do it only by remembering her. We honor her by living the principles she lived, by helping the newcomers, by loving one another, by believing in people before they can believe in themselves, and by changing hope to those who have none. Nancy, thank you for loving me. Believing in me, teaching me what a life of service truly looks like. You were my partner, my best friend, my greatest teacher, and the love of my life. Until we meet again, I'll continue to carry your message, your compassion, and your love. Rest peacefully, my beautiful Nancy. Your legacy will live on every life you touched, every person who stays clean because of your encouragement, and every heart that was forever changed by you knowing you. I love you, Nancy. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. And we have Abby.
I'm already crying. I haven't stopped crying. There's so much love in this room. It's amazing. And she loved that. Today we're celebrating Nancy's life, the life of an exceptionally extraordinary woman, my dearest friend. It's difficult to say goodbye, but I know we'll be together again one day. The bond that Nancy and I shared is hard to put into words. It was so very, very special. Nancy lived with grace. She met her challenges with quiet courage and strength. She lived her life with dignity, turning her strength into hope for others. And everyone knows that. She never asked for recognition, but she offered encouragement so freely that people still stand stronger today because she believed in them. For 40 years, she walked in recovery, proof that hope is real and transformation is possible. Nancy was a pillar in her community, again, giving steady encouragement, listening without judgment, and reminding people that there's always hope. But if you ask me who she was, I would simply say she was my sister from another mister. We always said that to each other, and then we would laugh. Nancy and I laughed until we cried. We gossiped a little more than we probably should have. And we loved with our whole heart. I can still picture us over 45 years ago in our leotards and leg warmers at the gym where I would buy drugs from her. And then we would both take 10 exercise classes. Nancy and I talked every single day and sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. The moments we shared together are treasures to me. Nancy taught me that forgiveness is powerful, that compassion matters more than judgment, and that laughter can heal deep wounds. Losing Nancy leaves a space in my heart that can never be filled. I will miss her laugh, her wisdom, her courage, and her voice on the other end of the phone. But I'm also filled with gratitude for having been loved by her. Sorry, my nose is running. Not everyone gets a friend like that. Her life reminds us all that our past does not define us, that hope can rise from dark places, and that one person's love can change countless lives. To my dear friend Nancy, thank you for the laughter, the lessons, and all of the memories I will always cherish. You will always be a part of me, and I will carry your love with me always. Rest peacefully, my beautiful friend.
And then we have Steve, that's me. So, Nancy is the sister I never had. And I met Nancy 39 years ago at the warehouse on 163rd Street. I was from South Dade and she was from North Dade. And we met at a 24-hour room, the South Dade 24-hour room, and she absolutely fell in love with it and wanted to know how it worked and how to do it. And that was the start of a relationship that lasted until just recently. And at that time, I wasn't the man I was today. I was full of lust and, I was single and, if it was walking and talking, I wanted some. And for some reason, the God of my understanding and the God of her understanding made sure that we never got to that place, that we somehow bonded on a different level that neither one of us really understood. And we became really, really close friends. And we stayed that way for the first 8 years of our recovery. And then there was an event, her sponsor, she had a falling out with her sponsor at that time. And she came to me and asked me if I would be her sponsor. And I said, no, I didn't believe in men sponsoring women. But because she was making a change and she was experimenting with her sexuality, she said, well, now wait a minute, maybe that'll be a little bit different. So we had a negotiation. My sponsor, her, and me sat in a room and we negotiated how we were going to do this. And out of that negotiation came a sponsorship. I sponsored her for 3 years. And then, of course, things changed. But here's what happened. Here's the story. The story was that at that time, I was sponsoring men. I always have sponsored men. But I had never understood the inner workings of a woman. And during that time, I worked the 12 steps with Nancy and the 12 traditions during that 3-year stint. And it changed my entire understanding of how my sisters survived their active addiction. I understood men and how their addiction worked. I had not a clue how my sisters got through an active addiction. And through Nancy working steps one-on-one, because we did it one-on-one, how we did that, I came to this new understanding which changed my complete and total outlook of that. And that was the beginning of our mutual love affair for Narcotics Anonymous and carrying the message. And I can't speak for very long. So I can tell you this, Nancy and I went on, and we've done workshops and spoken many, many times. We did a workshop in Russia. We did Zoom workshops in Russia. We've done the steps and traditions and living clean in Russia with groups, and that was the kind of woman she was. But I want to tell some other stories. I also, I like animals, but I didn't understand. I don't love animals. I like animals, I don't run them over, but I don't really care about animals too much until I met Nancy. So Nancy, I came to understand, really, really liked animals. And she was telling me about this dog. She had this dog that she got somewhere, and the dog's name was Junko. And Junko got old and frail, and Junko was dying. And I get this phone call, and she goes, I'm taking Junko on a road trip. I said, okay, that's great. And she said, so she rents a motorhome, and her and Junko set out to go to as many parks in Florida as she can with Junko. So I guess Junko needed to pee on as many trees as she could find for Junko to do, and that's exactly what she did. Now, I happened to be I had just gotten my private pilot's license, and I found out one of the parks that she was going to was near an airfield, so I flew in, and I had lunch with Nancy and Junko. And I found out what it meant to love an animal. And from that day forward, I loved animals because Nancy showed me how to love animals. And I'll take two more things and I'll shut up. Nancy built communities. She had Christmas parties. Nancy's favorite thing in the world was to get a bunch of people together and have a good time. And there was a lot of people in this room that have been to Nancy parties. Nancy loved it. Well, early on in her old house, she wanted to decorate it for Christmas, and it was a big deal. And Nancy didn't call you up and ask you if you wanted to stop by and help. Nancy called you up and told you when you were going to be at the house. This is early Nancy. So we show up, the crew shows up at Nancy's house ready to put up Christmas lights, but she wanted a big event. So she found a guy with a bucket truck, one of those big bucket trucks, because she wanted the top of her palm tree to have lights. So a guy named Steve Fontenot was volunteered, because you weren't asked, you were volunteered to get in the bucket truck and wrap the top of the tree. That was Nancy. Those were the kind of things that woman did, and everybody loved it, and I could go on and on. I'm not going to go on and on, but I wanted to bring a little up stuff here because Nancy was a person that drew people together and helped them have a good time. She also brought people together and showed them how to live a better life. And she brought people together. And she used to bug the shit out of me, like when I was going to show some feelings. So thanks, Nancy. And Joanne is next.
Glad there's a step stool for me here. So, Many of you know my long-term relationship with Nancy, which goes back over 38 years. We were as different as two women can be. Nancy wore black, I wore pink. Nancy could be direct, I was a diplomat. Stevie asked me recently, how did you two ever become friends? And I had to laugh. It's crazy, right? We were so different, but for whatever reason, right from the beginning, our hearts touched each other. We were always able to talk and confide with each other with no judgment. Disagreeing, oh yeah, I got the face. I got the face a lot. Many, many times, and she got my mouth, but we always laughed and were able to agree to disagree. Nancy and I could look at each other from across the room and know what each other was thinking, especially in meetings. Not judging, just saying. Nancy was black and white, and as many of you know, openly opinionated. She was passionate and devoted to Narcotics Anonymous. She loved this program and was so relevant to it and to so many newcomers. She pulled them in and made them feel a part of always. We didn't talk every day, it wasn't necessary, but there was never a lapse in conversation. Each one picked up where the last one ended. We never had to explain ourselves, we just knew. There are things that come up, funny or sad, and I think, oh, I gotta tell Nance this. I've been talking to her a lot lately, this past few weeks. I will miss and love her, but she will always be there with me. I'd like to read this poem that I found. This is to all of us whose hearts are broken, and especially to you, George, and to you, Stevie, and to all of Nancy's sponsees. This is from Nancy, to you. When tomorrow starts without me and I'm not here to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes are filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today, while thinking of the many things we did not get to say. I know how much you love me as much as I love you, and each time you think of me, I know you'll miss me too. But when tomorrow starts without me, please try to understand that an angel came and called my name and took me by the hand and said my place was ready in heaven far above, and that I'd have to leave behind all those I dearly love. But when I walked through heaven's gate, I felt so much at home when God looked down and smiled at me from his great golden throne. He said, this is eternity and all I promised you. Today your life on earth is past, but here it starts anew. I promise no tomorrow, for today will always last. And since each day is the same way, there's no longing for the past. So when tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right here in your heart.
We've got Annie. Ann?
So 19 years ago, I moved from Philly to Florida. My husband got here in like April, and I didn't get here with our daughter until like August. And he called me up. He was here about a month, and he said, I just met your new best friend. I said, oh, really? Who's that? He said, well, she came up on her motorcycle. She had on a black T-shirt that said, fuck you, I got enough friends, and I knew you two were going to be friends forever. And the beauty of it was that she started calling me and we would talk to each other, and she walked me through all the difficulties of leaving this house I grew up in with my grandfather built and blah, blah, woof, woof, you know, and the pain of leaving somewhere to start new. And, you know, when I got here, I couldn't wait to meet her, you know, and that was the beginning of an amazing, beautiful friendship. You know, it's hard to say goodbye to somebody like Nancy. So I say in gratitude, how grateful am I that I got to have a best friend for 19 years like Nancy Diaz. How grateful I am. You know, she was a woman of honor and grace and dignity. She was rough and tough. You know, when I first started hanging out with her, I saw how rough and tough she was. And then one day at Mikna, she met my daughter. And I watched her melt when Brianna started hugging her. And then it was never the same because Brianna and her became besties as well as me and her. You know, a lot of people have come through my life in my journey here. You know, I made a lot of friends, but she was truly a best friend for me. You know, and we helped each other a lot through some difficulties of grief. You know, grief is difficult, but I look at grief and say, because I had the capacity to love, I have the capacity to let go and to move forward and carry everything I've learned from her and move it forward. She was an icon, a legend in the world of Narcotics Anonymous. Her hand going out to newcomers always inspired me. I definitely miss her. We spoke every day. We spoke every morning. And as soon as I was talking, my husband would go, I know, you're talking to Nancy. But when you're done, you think I could get some breakfast? I said, it's going to be a while. You know, and every afternoon, somewhere between 3, we'd talk to each other, and she'd say, I know, where are you, Publix? I said, yes, I am. There were lots of laughter. You know, she walked me through the loss of my brother when that was difficult. But when I first got here, you know, first I met Rachel, and then Rachel pulled me in. And because I was feeling really awkward after 23 years of recovery in Philadelphia, and then coming here not knowing anyone, you know, and Nancy and Rachel pulled me in and brought me everywhere and helped me to fit in, helped me to become a part of this world of recovery and Narcotics Anonymous here in Florida. You know, I love the fact that, you know, everywhere you go, like George said, everybody would say, do you know Biker Nancy? So seeing all those bikes come up today touched my heart, and I know it touched hers. I truly feel that she's looking down today thinking, look at all you guys here for me, thank you. You know, she touched all of us. When I saw that she was going through the loss with Shelley, you know, we talked a lot after Shelley passed, and we talked about sponsorship, and she wanted me to sponsor, and we decided that we were just way too close as sisters, that she didn't want to change that, and I agreed, and then she found Steve again. She said, what do you think? I said, I think you should do whatever works for you. When I think about Nancy now, and I saw the bikes pull up, I want to say, Nancy, ride free. Ride at home, girlfriend. We talked a lot before she left. I think the best picture I have of Nancy is me and Barbara in her bed in her room. And George said, people want to come in, and then the 3 of us went. It was perfect. I miss her. I miss her. I miss her every morning when the phone rings, that I can't talk, but I feel her. I truly feel her in my soul. You know, I still talk to her. She's probably looking down thinking I'm crazy. I'd be driving home from work talking to her. You know, what I know is it was an honor. It was a true honor to walk next to her, to be in the meetings with her, to listen to her growth, her strength, and see how she became the wonderful woman that she is, and the mother to her animals, and the wife to her wonderful husband. And my dear friend, I'll carry everything you taught me, and I'll move it forward to the newcomer. Thank you for being in my journey.
Wow. Jeff.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jeff, and I'm an addict. I don't know how I can be standing up here at a time like this with so many people who have so many stories, so much love for such an incredible person. Steve said, yeah, just, come up with a great story and call it a day. You got 5 minutes. And and I can't really do that because the stories are the stories, and I have a million of them too, but it was bigger than that with Nancy. Nancy and I didn't like each other when we met at all. And I avoided her for probably 15 years, 15, 20 years. And that was fine. I saw her around, whatever. And then 15 years or so ago, we started talking, and I saw a transformed Nancy. It was Nancy had these two different lives practically. I saw a woman who was so kind and so connected and so focused on recovery. She knew more about recovery than I will ever know. And she wanted to share that with me, and with a little bit of caution, I let her, and we became great friends. I had never had, and I never will have, a friend like her. Nancy, she and I discussed all of our fears and all of our weaknesses and all of our difficulties, and we sort of solved each other's problems, It's very difficult to explain, but Nancy cared so deeply about so many that she felt a lot of frustration and a lot of pain when people didn't get clean or when people weren't reaching their potential, call it that, and what, she would say, why not? What's wrong with them? And me too. She'd say, what's wrong with you? You need to sponsor people. Here, you're going to sponsor this guy. As a matter of fact, 2 people that Nancy assigned to me as sponsees are sitting here today. And I love them both dearly, and they do everything a sponsee does for us. She required me to grow in recovery. She required it. She said, when we couldn't find a GSR for our meeting, she said, oh, no, don't worry. Jeff and I will do it. We'll fill in. And she never once went to area. She'd been to area many times, but for this, that was the way, because I was saying, no, I haven't been to GSR in 34 years. I ain't going to start now. And she said, okay, well, let's see. We'll both do it, and what could I say? Any of you who didn't know, Nancy was my theater wife. Right, George? And I think George wondered about that sometimes. Nancy and I both had a passion for musical theater, and we would go and we would have dinner and we would go see a show, and some of you came with us every now and then, but usually it was just Nancy and me. And we would laugh and we would dance and we would, we were kind of an odd couple. My husband didn't really care for theater, so I was elated to have someone who would always go with me. And we would put the whole season on our calendars in advance for years. And we would sit at dinner and talk about life. Nancy taught me aspects of life that no one else ever has. When Nancy got sick, she pulled back from me like she did from a lot of people until the very end. And at the very end, words weren't necessary. We could just look at each other and we just knew that what we had will never be replicated. It was very powerful. I don't know if I always appreciated it as much as I do now, but I, like so many people, I can't stop crying. I can't stop feeling the pain of not being able to just reach out to her when I'm confused or lonely or angry or just don't know what to do next. There's no replacement for that. I'm eternally grateful that we became so close and that I had the time I had with her. That's all. Thank you.
We have Barbara.
There are no words adequate to talk about Nancy. So I asked God and Nancy to do the speaking for me. And I didn't know how I was going to do this, and this really weird thing happened. I walked into this room and got flooded with joy. Flooded. I don't understand. It hasn't stopped. It doesn't make sense. But it's not tears. I'm feeling an incredible, overwhelming joy. And that joy is the spirit of Nancy. And what was she joyful about? Being a member of Narcotics Anonymous, loving so many people, being loved by so many people. How many people in this room feel like Nancy was my best friend? At one time or another, she was my best friend, without a doubt. So I think it was early November or sometimes in November in 1986, a sponsee of mine had the H&I commitment at Mount Sinai Hospital and asked me to come in and bring a message of hope to the addict that was still suffering, which is the greatest honor we are given on the face of this earth, to give back what we were so freely given, freedom from active addiction. And Nancy was there in that room that I got to bring a message. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that face among the faces. I remember the day. I remember doing it. But clearly, Nancy did not forget the message. And the next time I saw her was at the warehouse, leaning up against the back of a room. And I didn't, for whatever reason, maybe because I dressed all in black and I was a tough broad, what I saw was somebody who shared what I share, an unending passion for Narcotics Anonymous. Unending. And she and I were lucky enough to be part of the same sponsor group, the Nazis of NA. The work the steps or die motherfuckers of NA. And I guess maybe time-wise, she was the last of that group, and we were taught well. We knew we didn't want to go back to where we'd been. And we didn't know exactly how to do it, but we were taught here by that crowd. And a lot of people fell to the side, or a lot of people got busy with their lives, having children, getting careers. Nancy just retained that passion. That is what she and I had in common more than anything else, is an undying love for the program of Narcotics Anonymous. And that's why she loves Steve so much, because he had an undying and has an undying love for the program of Narcotics Anonymous. And the way you see her everywhere, and will still see her everywhere, and feel her everywhere, is the message she carried with joy. And that's why I walked in here with joy today. The passion that we were given, that we grabbed, that we ate, that we held on to, she passes to each and every person that she touches. And I'm saying passes because clearly, if I walk in here and I'm feeling joy, that's because she's filling all of us with that. And I'll tell you about my best friend. We knew each other really well, and we were in the same sponsor group and went to all the same conventions and did service together and traveled around together and brought Narcotics Anonymous everywhere and ate it and slept it and drank it and talked it and lived it and was it. And there are others of you who know exactly what I'm talking about because you do too. Some got it sooner, some got it later, some lost it for a minute or two, but you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't have it. We are the most fortunate people on earth to go where we went and then to get where we got. And it was Nancy and a few others like Nancy that carried that torch, that kept our hearts lit. So we were close and we were friends, and I didn't see her as intimidating. I saw her as elegant. Maybe, I don't know, because I'm all in black too. I think I'm elegant. I think her mother was incredibly elegant. I saw grace in her, a beauty, an elegance, a strength. And I saw always the tender heart, the truly tender heart. So in 2003, we were both going through, the one place all of us can get weak in life more easily and forget our program for a minute, relationships. And she was breaking up with one, I was starting one. And we were already close, but somehow that brought us to a place that, like Abby and like Anne and like Steve and like I can go on, we talked to her every day. How did she have the time? Get up, love the yard, love the plants, the trees, her animals, her husband, her friends, her sponsees, the earth itself, the sky, the sea. She touched, she felt. So here's what I want to say about Nancy most of all. We talked every day, at least once a day, usually more than that for 23 years. Nancy and I talked about everything, but the most incredible part was that we were always talking the principles and the traditions of Narcotics Anonymous. In one way or another, if you boil down our conversations, no matter what we started with, no matter where we started, sometimes it was Barbara, walk me back from the ledge. Sometimes it was Nancy, I'm a little afraid today because I've been sick for 3 years now. And I'm jealous that you can still get out of bed and go places while you're sick. And I'm locked in my house. And she would bring NA to me and tell me everything that was going on. But the one thing we always talked about, if you boil it down, were the 12 steps and the 12 traditions, because Nancy lived them, ate them, drank them, loved them, and loved the people that tried to love them, that came here, that came home, even the ones that got lost along the way. She loved us. She loves us. The room is filled with Nancy because it's filled with people that she brought a message to and that she lived the message and walked that message, not talked it. She would say to me, what's going on, Barbara? I walk in a room and people make a fuss over me. I don't like it. Why do they make a fuss over me? Because she also had humility. Anything and everything that Nancy said and did, if you boil it down, came down to Narcotics Anonymous. She lived the steps and the traditions, and they lived her. We never had a conversation that didn't end up in a solution. And the solution always was one of optimism, stay where your feet are, joy and gratitude, compassion and integrity, surrender and willingness, honesty and hope, fellowship and giving back what we were so freely given. It was a constant. It's what our conversations and our friendship was rooted in and based in, a foundation as solid as what those early people pounded into us and that we never let go of. And the joy. So the other thing I'd like to say about Nancy, I'm big into the 11th step. You know, I'm always with my singing bowls and my Zen Buddhism and my meditational practices. And Nancy did not talk a lot about 11 because Nancy lived 11. She lived 11, a conscious contact. And I'd be talking some koan that I was reading from some 8th century Zen master, and I'm spiraling down into this hole of it. And Nancy would take a picture of her feet, her knees to her feet down, and she'd send it to me. Because Nancy didn't need to study Zen Buddhism. Nancy lived it 1 minute at a time. Stay where your feet are. Get back into the positive. Get back into the affirmation. She would say things in 3 words that I would say in 4,576 words, and we'd laugh at that. And then she'd take a photograph because she kept affirmations to the last minute. She knew she was going to Europe 3 weeks before she passed because Nancy lived in hope, joy, the now, the love, the beauty, that day, that minute, that second. Who she was with that minute was her best friend, and she was their best friend because she was in the moment, seeing you, present to you. That was the extraordinary hard work that she earned, one day at a time. So I'm not sad. I don't understand it. I feel guilty because the only thing that I feel that's sad is my selfishness in the fact that I can't pick up the phone and talk to her. My ego misses her, my being able to talk to her, but my heart is her. It's filled with her, it's flying with her. And you will feel it going forward. She will touch us every way, every day. But the way we can honor Nancy is by taking this program to heart, carrying on the traditions and the principles. Sometimes we don't do it. She did it every day, all day, 7 days a week. And I didn't see, she and I never had one disagreement in 40 years. Not once. Because we always ended up in the solution and laughing and in joy and in affirmation. If you want to honor Nancy, just work the program. Carry the message. Help the addict that's still suffering. Carry on, because fewer and fewer people are. There aren't enough Nancys or Steves. Carry on the program, because she loves you and she's still here.
Okay. Janice.
I'm gonna watch the clock. I don't want to over talk here. Hello, everybody. I have absolutely no idea what I'm gonna say. I didn't think about it. I didn't want to think about it. So I will just talk from my heart and off the top of my head. But I think I'm pretty absolutely sure if I didn't meet Nancy, I wouldn't be standing here today. I was at that convention last night and they were doing a little auction of the posters. And I bid on the one that says hope. When I got here and I won, this self-will was involved, but anyway. That's what I can say when I think about Nancy, is when I got here, I did not know how to live, I didn't know how to live as a normal person in society. And I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to feel. And that's where she related to me, because she didn't like to have feelings back when, and we talked about it a lot. In our readings, right? Where does it say? One of the readings, anyway. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. That was Nancy. She believed in me and I knew nothing. I just was going to these meetings because I had to. And a friend of mine went to the meeting with me one night, and she said, "I know that lady. I've seen her before." And I said, "Where?" She said, "She used to come to the prison and bring the meeting." I said, "Yeah." So she said, "Come on, let's go talk to her." And that's how I met Nancy. And when my friend told her, "You brought the meeting in," she took like a more interest in us. And she gave me a business card. I'll never forget it. It said Bluebird Gardens on it. I'm like, what kind of meeting am I in, But it was her business. She just wanted to give me her number, and from that day, she never stopped reaching out to me and helping me. And somebody mentioned a while ago, Nancy didn't ask you to go to dinner. She was like, "We're going over here for dinner." What's that place? "We're going to Las Vegas for dinner." And I knew that meant I'm supposed to go, right? But she was giving me the option, and I would say, "Okay, I'm coming." And I knew Nancy was very happy that I was coming to dinner with them, but she didn't act like it. She'd say, "Oh, good." And I know that for me, I could read it. She was overjoyed that and we were like that, we were the same like that. We had that thing. And, in my native traditions, we believe in afterlife. And I've said it many times that we bury our deceased facing the west because we believe that we're going to journey toward the sunset. Our journeys toward the sunset and beyond. And my mom passed in 2016, and I've never, of course, the sadness and the grieving and all of that, but I've never felt far from her. I've never felt not close to her. I've never not felt her near. And the same with Nance, Y'all know that bond, y'all have it. It's never gonna go away. She's never gonna go away. And like I said, I didn't know what I was gonna talk about, but that's it, the hope poster. She gave me so much hope. She dragged me all over the country to meetings. Not just all over town, we were all over the damn country, and I didn't know how to say no yet. She'd call me up and say, "We're gonna get dinner and then we're going to West Broward Club. You coming?" "Yeah." And my mind was saying, "No, I don't want to." But my mouth would say, "Yeah." And if it wasn't for her, like I said, I know, and I've said this before, I might be in NA, but I would not have the love for NA like I do because of Nance. And yeah, I get sad, and I think I'm human sometimes, And but yeah, that's like everybody said. There's a lot you could say, story after story after story, but I just want y'all to know that because of Nancy, I have all of you, and without you, I wouldn't know how to live. And I'm so grateful to you guys, and ever grateful to my friend. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And Joey?
I'm humbled by the history that just preceded me. Absolutely humbled. I know you're all her best friend, but I was her favorite. Just so everyone knows. And I was gonna wing it, and then I had written something, and it was way too long. It was just. So then I had to go back and I had to delete all these stories that I didn't want to delete. And look at how many people she touched. And this is like just the tip of the iceberg. And you all know that. It's been a sad month. And like so many of you, a piece of me died and left a gaping hole in my heart. But we're gonna go back. The first time I ever saw Nancy was at the old warehouse. I guess probably 1988. I had just moved to Florida. More like ran to Florida or escaped from New York, as many of us did at that time. I was standing in the back of this big room with a lot of people, and I hear, "What the fuck are you looking at?" Caught my attention. And standing up against the wall not far from me is this beautiful woman, staring some guy down and just waiting for him to say anything. And he walked away quickly without a peep. Without a peep. And I said, "Who is that?" And the guy said, "Oh, that's Biker Nancy." I came in and out of meetings for a very long time. And she must have taken note of my struggles, because she would come up to me after and always had a kind word. I never got that evil stare. I never got that evil stare from Nancy. I mean, maybe a couple times recently, but not back then. She came up to me one night and she told me about a guy they called White Chip Charlie. She explained that he was a guy that came in and out for a very long time. Nice guy. People liked him, but he couldn't get it. And one day he died. And she told me she didn't want me to be like White Chip Charlie. Sometimes the things we say to newcomers are very impactful. And I'll never forget that. This was not the Nancy that I saw in that clubhouse that day. She was nice to me and she genuinely cared. And I remember one particular 24-hour room at the Fulford Church that she was always so involved in. And we talked and talked. And that was the night that we became friends. And I remember it like yesterday. I was invited the following year to Nancy's holiday party. I went to a lot of Nancy's holiday parties over the years. To me, it wasn't just a party, it was an event. It was the who's who in recovery, and if you got invited to Nancy's birthday party, you were the shit. And I would be remiss not to add that Joey B and Nancy started doing the parties together. All of Nancy's friends, all of Joanne's friends, we got dressed up, the food was amazing, the company was amazing. It was an epic event that we looked forward to every year. Whatever meetings she would go to, I would go to. She started a new meeting at Back on Track years ago She named it Freedom in the Wind. Do you guys remember that meeting? Freedom in the Wind. And that's where we were Wednesday nights. She taught me about the group. She taught me about the business meeting. She taught me about Narcotics Anonymous. She taught me about the traditions. We worked the traditions together twice. And then that wedding, that amazing wedding in that beautiful church. Nancy and the new love of her life, George. She was so happy, she was radiant. But maybe some of you remember, she almost broke her neck in those heels. This amazing woman became my best friend. She had integrity, honor, understanding, and the patience of a saint, especially with me. Her independence was fierce. She taught me about independence. She taught people how to hold their head up high. She loved newcomers and sponsored so many women over the years. I can't even imagine how many people she helped, probably thousands. She stayed in the solution. Whenever we talked and I was frustrated or angry or upset, she would always say, "Surrender, Dorothy." I'm a better man because of Nancy. She went through a lot in these last few years. She lost her mom, she lost her sponsor. They both took a big toll on her. And then, of course, she got sick. So what did she do? She took a 6-week trip to the Far East. Nancy, George, and Allison, the trip of a lifetime. She talked about it for years. We both cried together this year. It was a very emotional time. When I finally got to see Nancy in the hospital, she looked at me and she said, I don't know how to do this. And I said, I don't know how to do it either, Nancy, but we're going to do it together. Those were our last words. It was extremely sad, but also beautiful, as a lot of her friends and sponsees were there to say goodbye. George even brought the dogs. I love you, Nancy. I'll see you on the other side.
It's a lot of love. Okay, we're going to watch the rest of the video, and then we're going to go eat some food and do what we do best, which is fellowship. There's a whole lot of people to thank for putting this on. We have the people that created this video, Alexandra, Alex. You stand up. Come on, we're going to embarrass you. But there's a lot of other people that, arranged for the food and did a lot of other things here to make this all happen. So I'm going to keep quiet. We're going to do that, and then we're going to go over to the reception hall. And then Nancy's sponsees are going to have an opportunity to share over in the reception hall. So they'll have a microphone and their opportunity to share their feelings. Watch the screen.
All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose. We are family. just begun to get our share of this world's delight. High hopes we had for the future and our goals in sight. We don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong. Oh no, this is our family jewel. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. Yes, do we make a better day? Just you and me. We're down and out, and there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Well, let's realize, oh, that a change can only come when we...
Narcotics Anonymous has given me the ability to have a life. It's given me the ability to be me. As a result of working with 12 steps and being able to change, I changed my license plate on my motorcycle. It says free to be me. And that is a freedom. And I got that here because I worked steps, because I got involved in service. And I learned to freely give back what was freely given.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own life. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving.
It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. Oh, let me hear it. We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. Let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a brighter day. Just you and me. Come on now, let me hear you.
We are the world.
We are the world.
We are the children.
We are the children.
We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. Yeah, yeah. We are the world.
We are the world.
We are the children.
Children.
We are the ones who make a better day.
When you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have faith, you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me.
Keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for good times and bad times. I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for.
Well, you came and opened me, and now there's so much more I see. And so, by the way, I thank you. Oh, and then for the times when we're apart. Well, I close your eyes and know the words are coming from my heart. And then if you can remember, oh, keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for. In good times, in bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. Oh, that's what friends are for. Keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for good times and bad times. I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. Keep smiling, keep shining, know you can always count on me. Oh, for sure, 'cause I'm telling you, that's what friends are for. Oh, good times and for bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you. I'll be forever thankful, baby. You're the one who held me up, never let me fall. You're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believe I'm everything I am because you love me. gave me wings and made me fly. You touched my hand, I could touch the sky. My love set my faith, you gave it back to me. You said no star was out of reach. You stood by me and I stood tall. I had your love, I had it all.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began. So I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. It was small, turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Love you. Bye.
you.